there, welcome back to The Whole Bucket. I'm Cheryl, and today we're going to talk about what do you do when you have your masterboard background? What in the world do you do with one of these things? So we started the book project of brown and cream color neutral masterboard background pieces. And this is from the black and gray variety of that. And I'm going to show you what you do next. So if you have your masterboard, you've made one, or if you're just like, okay, that was interesting, but what in the world would I want that for? I'm going to show you what I do with this next. And the first thing I do is tip it upside down. You don't have to do this part, but I don't know about you, but I am an overthinker in my crafting and just about every single other thing in life. Overthinker, can't make decisions, don't know what to do with myself. So I turn it upside down so I don't think about where to cut this thing up, because it doesn't matter in the end. It all works. What I do think about though is what kinds of things do I want? I'm going to draw some lines in here just to give you a for example. So I might not use these lines, but I might want a large tag. So I'm going to have my tag be a little bit fat, and I want it 1.5 times as tall as it is fat. So I might want a tag like that. What do I do with this extra space? Well, this extra space would make a couple of interesting smaller tags, but those are going to be horizontal, right? So when if I flip this over, those are right here, and they'll be horizontal cards. So what if I want some vertical cards? Well, I could maybe make another cut here-ish, and then I would have a vertical card, and maybe another cut here-ish, and have another vertical card. And there, now I have another vertical card. What do I do with this long skinny piece? Oh, you can barely see that on the screen. Sorry. It'll come clear what I'm doing in a minute. Anyway, there's this long strip right here, right? What do I do with that? Well, belly bands are a thing. Page edges are a thing. A variety, right? There's a variety of things that you can do with this long strip. These pieces can also be pockets. This can also be a tuck spot. Gosh, I don't know. The possibilities are endless. So I'm just giving you an idea here. Let's actually cut this up. And rather than having to erase lines, I think I'll just use the lines I just showed you. So I'm going to make that first big cut. And I want a tall tag. I want it to be cut. Well, this line I made, oh, I'm off screen. So sorry. Let's do this. I'll do it at this end. So this line I drew is a little taller than I actually want this tall tag to be. So I'm going to move down a little bit and cut right there. I'm still not going to look at this though. Now I have a tall tag. Now I have this piece right here. I could leave it the way it is. I could cut it down the middle this way. I could cut it down the middle this way. Lots of different things I can do with it. Like I said, I'm going to stick to those lines that I demonstrated, but I'm going to try to get kind of in the middle of this. How wide is this thing? It's about 4 3/8 inches. Whatever. Goofball. So I'm going to go just over 2 inches, and they will be approximately the same size. Like, how close did I get? Ooh, look, tiny bit different. That's okay. And then this piece. First thing I'm gonna do is follow that long line. So I have this long skinny piece right here. And I'm going to make it a little thinner so that this piece over on this side is going to be 2.5 inches wide. And I'll tell you why in just a second. So, art artist trading cards, or trading cards in general, are 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So I'm going to cut a couple of 3.5 inch pieces off of here. Now, if you don't know this thing, like these measurements and whatever, they don't matter. Make whatever you want and however you want and whatever looks good. The only reason I even know this stuff is because I've been doing it for a little while now, and I like to look up the definitions of things. So, all right, well, so I know stuff. I know stuff I didn't used to know. Now, here's a little piece I'm not sure what to do with. This is, oh, I peeked. This is almost square, but not quite square. It's not quite trading card size. It's, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to assume, now I don't remember what way the design goes. I think the design goes this way. You know what? I don't know what I'm going to do with this piece. I think I'm just going to leave it like it is and have it be a flex piece. Like, I can decide somewhere along the line what I want it to be. And that's fine. So let's set my paper trimmer aside and reveal what we ended up with. Okay, so our flex piece looks like that. Flatten that puppy out. And our trading cards sizes look like that and like that. And our belly band, tuck spot, etc. piece looks like that. Let's move these guys up. Out of the way, everybody. Okay, our horizontal cards, one looks like that, and one looks like that. And our large tag card looks like that. All right, there's all our pieces. Now, they might look pretty boring right now. And I don't know, I mean, they're full of potential in my eyes. If you don't make masterboards or you don't make this kind of stuff yet, this might still look to your eyes like, okay, what the heck do you do now? That's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to show you what we do now. First thing we do is figure out if we want to edge these things, how we for sure want to use them, if we want to do any stamping on here or adding colors on here or what have you. And I don't want to do any stamping or adding colors because I want this black and white and gray neutral background. And I don't want to do any stamping also because there's already enough going on. It's kind of already a complicated background. There's lots of stuff, right? But it's neutral, so I'm okay with that. I am going to do some edging on here, though. First thing I'm going to do, though, is this. This is actually too long for a belly band in most of the books that I make. So I'm going to cut this off at, let's say, about 7.5 inches. So let me grab my little ruler and my finger blade and cut that right off. And now we have another extra piece. That's going to be a mini tag, I'm sure of it, because I love mini things. Let's see, anything else? Anything else? No, I think we're good. I forgot to grab one of my very favorite tools, so you're going to hear my voice kind of going off in the background a little bit. And you're going to hear some noises while I grab this. Also not very exciting looking, right? It's a glass trivet. It's from the Dollar Tree. If you do any crafts and you need a non-stick flat surface to do any work on, run to Dollar Tree and get some of their glass trivets and take the little feet off. And then you can have a textured side if you really want it, and a not textured side, because gosh, is that handy. So let's do this part kind of fast because there's a lot of pieces, and I want to show you how we get a uniform set of stuff out of this. First thing I'm going to do is grab a blending brush, and I'm going to start with Hickory Smoke Distress Oxide. Hickory Smoke. And I'm going to go into this piece a little ways with Hickory Smoke. Look how that kind of fogs everything, right? And the thing is that if I do this to all the pieces, it kind of pushes this busy background. Oh, okay, so I'm going to use not very clever words. It's going to push the background into the background. Whatever. I think you might know what I mean though. Look, it's taking away some of the busyness. It's evening out. It's finding a median is what it's doing. So it's not so dramatic looking. And then because it's me and I don't want to take out too much of the drama, I'm going to put some of the drama back in just a second, and I'll show you how I like to do this and how other people do this as well. I am taking this gray really far into the cards. Farther than I thought I would and farther than I intended. So it's just another example of how don't think this stuff out too much. Just go with what happens and let things appear before your eyes. It's like magic. Let things appear before your eyes. So if you don't know about Distress Oxides, you should know that this is an opaque color. That it is, well, it's more opaque than some other colors, or some other inks. And it reacts to water. So if you wanted some effects, if you wanted it to look splotchy, grungy, runny, whatever, just spritz it with water. Spray it with water. Dropple. Put droplets on it of water. And let it sit for a minute till you get the effect you want, and then dry it up with a heat gun or a paper towel or whatever, and you will get different effects. So that makes Distress Oxides and Distress Inks fun to play with. I don't have all the sets of stuff that I intend to have yet. So I'm not going to be doing what I'm going to tell you next. But if you have an oxide and an ink, put your oxide down and then put your ink over that. Inks are more translucent, so they won't hide stuff. You can see the stuff underneath. All right, so we've done all of those, and I'm going to put that brush down and get a smaller one, and I'm going to pull out the next color. And I'm going to do the same thing in a black color, but not go in as far. This is also a Distress Oxide, I believe. It's hard to read yeah, it is. It's hard to read the box anymore. I've made such a mess of the darn thing. And this brush is so slow and taking so long that I'm actually going to pause the video, and I will come back in just a second when I am done doing this next, just this piece. Hold on one second. And we're unpaused. You know why? Because I finished that stage. Okay, look at my hands. Jeez Louise, man. Always a billion colors. don't know if the cards have more or my hands do. So while I'm talking about what's coming up, I'm going to do this last part. So this part right here is an archival ink. This ink does not react with water, so I can put this on and not be worried that it's going to get smudged or faded or anything like that. So I am doing this all along the, straight along the edge, and then on the back tilted in a little bit. Look what my fingers are doing to that, making a big fat mess. I don't really care. It's fine. That one's going to be a belly band anyway. However, for the rest here, I kind of don't want to make that big of a mess. Oh, here we go. This is what I'm looking for. So I don't know if you know this, but hand sanitizer is a great way to clean up inks. So I'm just going to rub that on there a little bit and then wipe it off. And I missed some. Yeah, I'll leave it. Whatever. It's better than it was a minute ago. Goodness sakes. Alright. Alright. A little better, I think. Yeah, that's lots better. Not great, but whatever. Like I said, it doesn't matter all that much. I'll show you. You'll figure out why in just a bit here, but straight down the edges with this permanent ink, and then on the back tilted in a little bit so that we get nice edging on here. Another thing that I could have done, I actually intended to do, but I forgot to do, was round the corners on all of these pieces. And I don't mind that I forgot, because I think sometimes I do it too often. And then all of my things end up looking the same. So a lot of times the rounding the edges gives things a more finished look. And I love that. But there's no reason in the world that these straight edges aren't fine too. It's just ridiculous. And just so you know, that on the back of these cards, the reason I don't care about the ink mess is because a grungy kind of look is what I'm going for. If I wanted things to be really neat and tidy, which I almost never do, you know, I would take steps to make sure that things didn't get so contaminated. But I don't worry about that very often. One of the biggest reasons I don't worry about it is because my hands don't work properly, and it's really, really difficult for me to keep things neat and tidy through an entire project. And rather than fight with that aspect of, you know, my body malfunction, I decide to just go with it. Just go with the flow. And it does create a situation where I get to be much more creative. And I think I said this actually fairly recently in a video, is that when I make mistakes, or, you know, have my hands not cooperate is more accurate, I have to find ways to fix that then. And I have to find ways to make it work in design and function and quality. And I kind of like that. Okay, so anyway, now we have all these pieces. They look a little foggy, they look a little grungy, they look a little bit more muted, but they're definitely dark. Dark, dark, dark. And these are all going to be pieces for a journal, which you will be introduced to in a future video, right? Because it's another project for Get Your Craft On 2023. So these particular ones, I'm just showing you why I want a black and gray book of masterboard things. And now I'm showing you what to do with those master boards, but this set that I'm doing the demonstration with is going to go into another Get Your Craft On 2023 project. Yeah. So I think I said that like 5 times. So here's what I've done. With the future journal home of these pieces in mind, I have gathered some of the fussy cuts, some die cuts that I have, some scraps that I have, and some dyed cheesecloth. And I'm going to try to embellish all of these pieces with just what I have right here. Me sticking to a plan usually doesn't work, because I get other ideas, or I'm not happy with how things fit together, and whatever. I'm ridiculous, I swear, but we're gonna see what we can do. So very first, let's stack some of this stuff off to the side and start with the big tag. Let's start with the big tag. The big tag. There we go. I'm going to make it tag shaped. So I'm going to cut this corner off. And then I'm going to flip it around. And line it up. And cut it off this side as well. And then guess what? Then I have to take the ink back out, because I need to ink that edge back up. So now I have a tag shape. Awesome. I want a hole in this tag because I'm going to put a ribbon through it. So I'm going to guesstimate the center and how far down I want it to go. Good enough. Right there. That's what we're doing. And believe it or not, whoops, I even edge the hole punch spots. And I will probably punch out some hole reinforcers, right? And I will line those as well. It just gets ridiculous how I don't like cut edges if they're not finished. So, okay, so we need some brightness on here. And a lot of the color I have in these things I've pulled aside are pinks, plums, peaches. Do we like that? It's okay. Do we like that? That's better. Do we like this? I don't know. I don't know. Do we like this one? No, not that one. Maybe those two. Maybe these two. Quite possibly this orange one too, but I don't like orange. It's a hard color for me. Okay, so I think first, let's go light. All I'm going to do is snip off a chunk of this and unroll it a bit, right? I'm not getting fancy. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just trying to leave it kind of a mess. Kind of a mess, not a total mess. There we go. Okay, so this is just a what if stage. This is the what if stage. So what if I put that right there? Well, okay, that's interesting, but then what? Well, then I look at all these other pieces. What if underneath that, what if this, I don't use doilies very much, paper doilies. I don't use them very much because they're just not my jam, right? But I have them and I want to use them. So what if that was under there? And then this thingy was here? Just trying to spread out this part that keeps wanting to clump up. I don't want that. Okay, like that. What if I did that? And then what if, I don't really like this particular butterfly. What if we took this butterfly? No, that blends in too much. What about this butterfly? Maybe I don't want a butterfly. I don't like either one of those. What if we took this big flower? Does that big flower look kind of cool? Sort of. I want that somewhere else. What if we did crystals? What if we did crystals? Well, that's interesting. What if we did crystals and then, oh, here's something. This kind of goes with a crystal, bold and beautiful. What if we did that? Okay, so now I'm kind of liking this. So this crystal picture has this cheesecloth color in the background. Look at that, just as a highlight thing. Sorry, I'm full of ink. It's just the way I work. I just looked in the camera. This bold and beautiful is also kind of in the crystal, and it's kind of a bridge color between this cheesecloth and the darkest colors in the crystal. It also mirrors the horizontal tape here and the horizontal piece at the bottom. So I like the way that it does that. Let's take a look in the camera view. Gosh, you know what? That is really a strange layout for me, and I kind of like it. I think I'm going to go with that. So this is going to be our first piece right here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this stuff back off. And we're going to get things glued in place. And we're going to start with this little guy right here. Oh, I did it again. Oh, I glued my glue bottle to its holder. Uh-oh. I might have to pause the video again. This glue bottle is almost empty. Time to pull out more. Okay. I think I'm going to tip this a little more dramatically than I had it before. I don't know why. I just am. Then this is always tricky. How in the world do you get glue on here without messing it up? Well, I don't know. There are a few different ways, but cheesecloth doesn't really cooperate no matter what you do. So I'm putting the glue down in a somewhat like the cheesecloth shape. And then I'm just going to lay the cheesecloth in it and spread it or add as I need. Both the glue and the cheesecloth. Spread as I need. All right, there we go. There we go. I'm stuck. I'm glued to my work. I'm glued to my work, people. All right. Now, there we go. There we go. Now that I'm looking at this like this, there's a part of this I'm not liking anymore. I want something more under here to make this crystal piece feel more like it's more grounded. And I'll show you just what I mean if you don't really know. If you're like, what the heck is that? I'm going to take a tiny piece of the purple. And see if that does it. So if I were to put some purple along with the pink cheesecloth, and then set the crystal into that. Yep, I like that a lot. Now, it feels more like the crystal is sitting on something, like it's engaged with its environment. So I'm not going to glue that down yet because I kind of want it to go over the bottom edge of the crystal, and I'm going to edge the crystal because it's what I do. I edge everything. So literally just the cut edge of this. Let's see in the camera if you can see what I'm doing. So the back is white too, but I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about this cut edge being white. I don't like it. So we're just going to do that with a marker. No more white edges. This marker is wearing out. I don't like to throw it away till I'm sure it's done though. All right. All right, all right. Almost there. Almost done. Cut edges. All covered. It just makes for a nicer finished product in the end. I'm going to have to look up a replacement marker too, because I don't like the ones that I have to replace this because they bleed too much. So I want permanent no bleed markers to do this with. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's put some glue on this puppy. Not a ton because that cheesecloth has a bunch and it's gonna soak right through that. So let's go right about there with the crystal. Next, we're gonna put that purple on to make this look grounded, like I said, right? So I'm going to just add a little more glue so I make sure I have enough for all the layers. There we go, like that. And I don't like how, oh my goodness, look, I pulled it right off. I don't like how exact I had it. So I'm going to mess it up a little bit. I need some chaos happening in here. There we go. I think I got some chaos. Yep, I'm happy with that. Happy-ish. Look, I still had something I got to fix. There we go. Happier with that. Now, bold and beautiful. Also, needs to be lined on the cut edges. Even though this is a die cut, I didn't make this. This is just from a company that I got a bunch of stuff for a different project. Wow, this is bad, isn't it? Let's see if the other, oh, that is not what I meant to do. Let's see if the other end works any better. Yeah, a little bit. So this is just from, I like the scrapbook paper maker 49 Market. And this is from a kit that I got to make a specific journal. And this is a piece that I'm not going to use for that journal. So I am going to use it for this project. Oh gosh darn it. Did you see that? Marker failure all over the place today. All right. One line of glue down the center of this. because it'll get squished to the edges and we don't want a big glue mess. And we're going to go right across here. Yep. Good enough. What do you think? What do you think of that, guys? I'm thinking it's pretty good so far. Looking all right. Now, the next thing I want to do is, that's not what I want to do. I want to, ow, sorry. I want to stand up and get my paper punch. So this makes hole reinforcers. I'm not really sure what I want to do. How about if I punch it out of the... Does that even work? Wow, that didn't work. This is too flimsy. But I did it, so let's try it again. I missed. I have another one. We're going to try again. Yeah, this is too flimsy. It doesn't want to cut. It just wants to, you know, mold. There we go. I'm going to use them anyway. And yeah, I'm going to color the edges. This is so stupid. I apologize for my ridiculousness. It's not working anyway. It's too flimsy. So I'm going to do something different. I'm going to take this. See what happens if I squish these on here. That's a little more color than I wanted, but it's still gonna, I mean, it means it's gonna match, right? Oh wow, that's like, couldn't be darker. Couldn't be darker, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna just let those dry. That is an ink pad loaded, man. Okay, let's set this aside for a minute and let this dry a bit. And work on what's next. We have a belly band. And this is kind of what I thought I wanted on the belly band. But I didn't know that the belly band would end up with words on the bottom like this. And nothing on the top. What do you do at the top of a belly band that's kind of, it's naked? It's naked. It's got nothing on it. Let's see what happens. No, see, I don't want to do that. This is not going to work because I don't want to cover up all this design with cheesecloth, and this is too dark to show up on this belly band. So maybe we gotta do something more with the flowers right now. And we could maybe use another crystal. Do we maybe use another crystal and a flower? If you know what I should be doing and I'm not, just scream really loud and I'm sure I will hear you through the cosmos. It will come through loud and clear. I'm positive. Yeah, okay, maybe not. Okay, maybe not. But I am sure that there are people out there who, when you see this, you're going to go, it's obvious what you should do. And gosh, I'm just not at all sure. What about that bird? She's cute. She's cute. Okay, wait a second. I got an idea. What if I do the darker cheesecloth in a bit of a nest kind of feel and a bit of a trailing kind of feel. Here's what I mean. What if I do a little bit of a gathering for the bird to sit on up here, and a bit of a trailing down the belly band like this, and then put the bird up here, because the bird's got no feet, so she's got to be sitting in something anyway. You know why she has no feet? Because I'm not going to be bothered to cut out itty bitty birdie feet when I'm fussy cutting. It's just not going to happen. All right, so what if we did that? I'm kind of liking that so far. And then this is following the lines just a little too literal, so I need to think of something to kind of mess it up. And she could probably use something behind her. Like, is this way too much behind her? I really think it is, but I'm going to try it anyway. Yeah, see, you can hardly even see her then. That's way too much behind her. Was it just the color that was bad behind her? What if we did a different color? Nope. She's still just too far disappeared if we do that. Oh, excuse me. All my stuff is sticking together. What if we put doily behind her, which I'm already hating, and it's not even all the way on there, so it's not likely that that's gonna stay. No. It's all, actually, I liked it better than I thought I would. Almost. That's an almost. What if I put a much smaller piece behind her? So again, I'm just trying to increase the design on the card to go up, right? Up the belly band. Birdie nest, a purple birdie nest right there. And a bird to sit in the nest. No, that hides her, doesn't it? It's too close to her color too. Something needs to be behind her and bring out the her. Let's see if this little extra bit of fluff, maybe on her nest, brings her out. It doesn't really add much height to the belly band, but maybe she can go up higher then. Okay, I actually kind of like that. I kind of like that. We're getting closer. We're getting closer, I think. What if there's a star in the sky? I don't know what difference that's going to make. And I don't know why I can only find one of my stars. But, okay. So, here's what I'm going to try. I'm going to try mixing up the nest part a little bit more. So we have the purple and pinker colors twisted together a little bit. And get more of a nesty kind of feel. And then this can still be twisted around just the way I had it, trailing. And then this, what if she is in her nest? Tucked in a little bit more, like that. I'm saying yes to that. I'm saying yes to this. I'm going to go with this. And I'm going to hope that I find the other, I'm going to hope I find the other star. If I don't, I have some ideas. So I just happen to have this lavender Sharpie. And it goes with the color scheme. So since the black one is fizzling, I'm just going to use this. Yep, just going to use that. I'm going to do the star too. Super quick. Super quick. Super quick. I gotta stop saying that. There we go. This is what I run into. A lot of my markers, especially this brand, which I adore Sharpie markers, don't get me wrong, but they do soak in too much for this. You guys, are you familiar with this? This is called Wink of Stella. It's super fine glitter in a brush marker. So let's make our star glittery, because it really should be. All right, and first things first is to get this nest the way I want it. Because the rest can be trailed under it. But we gotta get the nest proper. I think that's what I want right there. Whoops, I made a mess. Imagine that. Okay, ready? I think that's what I want to do right there. Now, I kind of want the rest to follow the curve of the circle, go through the words a little bit, and then go like that. So I just put the glue in a vague mirror of what how I'm trying to make the cheesecloth trail. And then I'm just gonna stick it in and let it be messy. Gonna let it be messy. Just be a mess. Good job. That's a fabulous mess. Now let's get our birdie tucked into her home. One birdie all tucked in. I kind of want this to cover her belly a little bit so it looks like her feet are laying in there, right? Her feet are in her nest. I swear they are. And I'm going to hold that down for just a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, next thing is I am hitting the pause button. Okay, so it's been like a half a second and you probably didn't even realize that I paused the video, but I did. And I did it so I could do some magic. I got some more stars. I wasn't really sure where they were. So yeah, I mean, I know where they are. They're in this box right next to me, right? But it's a big box and it's full of stuff that's not sorted yet. So rather than have you sit through that, I thought maybe I better just pause the video, find the stars, prep the stars. I am happy with that. Oh my goodness. So what's in the night sky above our birdie? Stars, of course. Hello? Stars, of course. Squish. We're doing the, did I do the green one under the gold? I'm doing the green one under the gold one. Squish. Get that extra glue up, lady. It's gonna look gross. Okay. And last one. I should use that little, I should use that little what? I should use that little, I should use this tweezer to do stuff like this, but I don't always remember to pull that thing out and use it. Also, it's the kind you let go of to hold things, and so many times I forget that. It's hilarious how often I try to use it and I just end up dropping things even more. All right, there is our belly band. Don't know that that's completely done, but it's done for now. I think I'm gonna add a little sparkle to the night sky, just with it's not splatters necessarily, but I'm just dotting the Wink of Stella around, right? So I don't know if that'll show up on camera at all. I'll show it, I'll lift it up in just a second. Oh shoot. Okay, I did it way too much right there. So what it will do, oh yeah, you can see that. It just looks wet and a mess right now, but when this dries and maybe I add another layer or another color or something, right, it will just add a little glitter effect to the night sky. It'll be great, I swear. Let's go back to this quickly. I'm going to circle right there and circle right there with glue, and then put these pieces on. Line that up carefully. Oops, and then I squished it over. There we go. And this one. And squish that. Squish. Oh, look at how wet it still is. Good grief. Oh, I'm kind of a train wreck today, guys. Kind of a train wreck. If you watch me very long, you will find that I am kind of a train wreck a lot of days. It's kind of a normal state to be a train wreck. Okay, and we're going to put a black ribbon in this. And I want it rather short, so I'm going to tie it before I cut it. Otherwise, I end up just wasting too much because I have to make it long enough to tie, and then I want it really short. It ends up so wasteful. But there we go. Before I tie the next parts, because I'm going to make a knot, right, I'm going to put a dot of glue right there at the top of the knot, so that when I pull this tight, it's going to pull right into the glue. And that's not like a ton of glue to hold it, but it is enough to secure this little pull for this tab. It is enough. Okay, so we're going to cut this end about as long. Not necessarily straight across as you saw. And let's cut that straggle off though. And then fray it. I want it to look messy. We're going for grunge here. We want whoever is going to use this journal to not be afraid to use this journal and, you know, beat it up, get it used, get it dirty, scribble, write, mud, draw, whatever. Okay, so there is the big tag. There is the belly band. And we have all those pieces left to go. And we are just about at an hour. So once again, I am going to pause the video. I am going to finish up the suite of products. And I will just turn this back on for a quick ending and a finished look at what happened to this masterboard. Be right back. Okay, here it is. The big reveal is now. So we had the belly band, You already saw that. We had the big tag. I got it wet. I did it on purpose, but it's a little warped, so I have to flatten it. And now look what we're adding. We're adding a horizontal card. One of the artist trading cards. The other artist trading card. A little square card. Square-ish anyway. The other horizontal card. And I ended up cutting the last piece into some itty-bitty cards that I just put butterflies on to continue some of the colors and to use in a journal somewhere. So all of these pieces, I don't commit to using all of them, but all of them are with a particular journal in mind. Details may be added to them down the line depending on what happens with the journal itself, right? But they all kind of go together. They all have some common themes, like we have bottle, 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 and we have flower, 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 and crystals. Do I only have the one crystal? I might have to increase crystals. But it's all kind of nature-y, so that kind of goes. And then it has some sentiments that are supposed to, you know, inspire. And it's a journal, so of course the book and the ink and quill go. That's fine. I don't know what else to say. This is kind of the end of the video, but this is the kind of thing that you can end up making with your masterboard background book that we made yesterday and that I will be continuing to make and produce throughout this project. All right, thank you again for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow for day, what will tomorrow be? Day 7? Yep, tomorrow will be day 7. All right, till then, happy crafting, people.